And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. We do have a major update and actually some breaking news with regard to the Heathrow pepper spray attack yesterday. Of course, yesterday we did break the news to you that Terminal 3 of the airport had been sort of locked down due to tons of people essentially feeling the effects of pepper spray. What we seen at the initial scene was essentially armed police, of course, being deployed, loads of emergency services at the scene. And what we really knew was that 4 men targeted a woman in the Terminal 3 car park lift at Heathrow Airport. What was said was that they were spraying what police believed was pepper spray, and it affected 21 people nearby. Now, officers did arrest a 31-year-old suspect within minutes, while the London Ambulance Service treated victims at the scene. 5, including a child as well, were hospitalized. However, there were non-life-threatening injuries. Police reviewed the CCTV footage and called for witnesses. They did state that it was an isolated incident between known parties with no terrorism link, but they were hunting for the 3 remaining suspects. However, we do have an update that has just broke over the last half an hour or so, and that 2 more suspects have been arrested. And there's a few more details as well with regard to statements as this story is starting to sort of uncover. As always, guys, we are going to be breaking it down in today's live stream, but as always, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the live chat. So yeah, let's get into this story. As you can see, breaking news: 2 more suspects arrested after the Heathrow Airport pepper spray attack. 2 more people have been arrested following the alleged pepper spray attack at London's Heathrow Airport on Sunday. 1 man was arrested on the scene in the morning of December 7th when armed police dramatically stormed a multi-storey car park at Britain's busiest travel hub. He was then released under investigation while the Metropolitan Police continued the inquiries. However, today, a 24-year-old man from Lambeth was arrested on suspicion of robbery and assault, and a 23-year-old woman on suspicion of conspiracy to commit robbery. The pair remain in custody, said Scotland Yard. Sunday's incident saw the London Ambulance Service treating 21 people with injuries, including a 3-year-old girl. 5 of the injured were taken to hospital, as we stated, but their conditions are not believed to be life-changing or life-threatening. Speaking on Sunday evening, Commander Peter Stevens said, "Our team have been working at pace today to review CCTV from the area and speak with witnesses at the scene. At this stage, it is understood that a woman was robbed of her suitcase by a group of 4 men who sprayed a substance believed to be pepper spray in her direction. This occurred within a car park lift, with those in the lift and surrounding area affected by the spray. Our officers are working to determine the full circumstances around what happened, but we do believe this has been an isolated incident with those directly involved to know one another." He continued, "We appreciate that this has been a concerning incident, and I commend the actions of the emergency services and members of staff at Heathrow Airport." Eyewitnesses told GB News it was incredibly eerie because one at a time, everyone including me, started coughing all at once. It felt like there was a burning at the back of our throats. There were children, there were elderly people, everyone was just coughing and spluttering. Mr. Bate was then shocked to see 20 armed officers come barreling through, looking really quite worried, which could be seen in footage shared on social media. Of course, we did go through this video footage yesterday's live stream, so if you haven't already watched that, you can go and see it there. This was obviously recorded by one of the witnesses, and when this story broke, it did look really alarming. All we heard was this story is pretty alarming in itself, but it looked far serious because the terminal was sort of evacuated, and armed police, all you were seeing was footage like this circulate. Loads of armed officers going around the multi-storey car park searching for somebody with no context whatsoever apart from the lockdown that had happened. As stated, by midday, dozens of passengers were waiting in the terminal's bus stop for shuttles to the long-stay car park and elsewhere, as the incident caused major travel delays. One family who did not wish to be named said they had waited for 3 hours at the bus stop after their flight landed around 8 a.m. Heathrow staff handed out bottled water to waiting passengers on Sunday afternoon, and a Heathrow spokesperson said the shuttle buses to the long-stay car park were impacted by the congestion on the roads following an earlier incident which saw the central terminal area tunnel closed for safety reasons. So what we know now is, I think one has been released on bail, but 2 more have been arrested and the pair remain in custody. Now, again, there is something here. Obviously, it looks like a robbery. But the point here is saying that all of the people involved in this incident seem to know each other. So you had the 4 potential suspects, and then you had the lady that was being robbed. What was in the suitcase? Why did they target her? That's the questions that's obviously being asked now, a day later. What has actually gone on? What was in that suitcase? Why were they trying to target her with pepper spray? Why were they trying to rob her? So certainly some more questions need to be answered here, but again, we have got the breaking news that 2 people have been arrested with regard to this incident. But in terms of the initial fears, it's not as serious as what we thought it was at first. We're like, Jesus, what could this be? Especially with the response. But when it comes to pepper spray, when it comes to a substance, the police have to think of the worst case scenario, and we've seen a lot of, I think, London statistically, or I've seen a report saying London was one of the highest, or if the highest, for acid attacks within Europe, or in the world, in fact. So when a substance is causing spluttering, coughing, and irritation, then obviously police and emergency services are going to think the worst, especially in the city of London. But again, it's just yet another incident that, of course, just shows how far this country has fallen down. It's an incident every single day. It's something like this every single day in terms of violence, thuggery, robbery, and so that's the update with regard to that, guys. 2 more people have been arrested, and a little bit more information on what we know about the story now a day later, but still a few more questions to be answered. But guys, do let me know your thoughts down there in the live chat, and I'm looking forward to getting your reaction with regard to this one. What are your thoughts on what has happened? We've got a member for 10 months. Susie, thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for becoming a member, by the way. Thank you very much. 10 months as a British patriot. What an absolute legend. I really do applaud you, and thank you so much for that. We've also got a £2 donation from Boozler, or Buzzzzla, depending on how he wants his name to be pronounced. But thank you so much for your £2 donation. What an absolute hero. Thank you so much for your generosity, especially at this time of year. Thank you very much. Let's take a little bit more reaction. Thank you, man. Dave says, even the little gangbangers are not that daft to hit Heathrow, or are there? Don't add up to me. I mean, there was a few things that I suppose there is unanswered questions to, really. Let's be honest, and that's why this lady, if she's known, and what was in the suitcase. Why were they trying to rob her suitcase? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. People saying I have throws. 2 seconds. Let me check that for you quickly. I'm not too sure as to why. Probably Wi-Fi. No, my luck. Not sure. No buffering. Okay. Hounslow Guna says, this is my neck of the woods. Alarming times. Exactly. People say my audio is cutting off. I'm not too sure why. Apologies. Apologies for that. Audio is cutting off. This is beyond acceptable. Sync has gone. Okay, well then I've got the update across to you, ladies and gentlemen. So if I'm having complications with the live chat, I do apologise. I'll try and rectify that for the next live stream. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll keep it short because people saying I'm buffering, I'm freezing, and all these things, so I can have a little look as to what has gone on. But again, at least we got the bulk of the story out there to you. But please, as always, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below with regard to this. What do you think of the further details that have emerged and in terms of what has gone on? But guys, hit subscribe and I'll be back later to keep you updated.